All right, you guys, what is going on today? I'm going to break down the controversy from the NFL's divisional round of the playoffs. A couple controversial things to talk about. CJ Stroud, should he not have been pulled at halftime? I'll make the case for why he should have. But most importantly, was it a catch or was it an interception? We're going to break that down as well. And we're going to start right off the top with that. Obviously, this is like that dress that people couldn't decide if it was white or in gold or blue and black. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you disagree with me and if you think that it should have been a catch, all power to you. Then that's what you think. Fair enough. I'm not going to fight you over it, but I will tell you that in my opinion, this is very clearly an interception, and I'm going to break down why. We're going to take a look at some video here so everybody can understand. So first and foremost, let's take a look at the play. So here was the play. Because when he goes up, he does not fall or come out of the fall with the ball. It's the defender. So one more time in full speed, and then we'll slow it down for everyone to see. All right, looks like a catch right there, right? And then, obviously we need to slow it down. Replay needs to slow it down and take a look. So here is the actual slow-mo, which, look, if we have slow-mo, we're going to use it, then we have to use it fairly. Look, to the naked eye, it looks like a catch, right? Like you just see it and you're like, oh, it's a catch. And then the defender wrestled it away. Well, let's take a look. Here it is. All right. So Brandon Cook goes up, right? He got 1 foot down, 2 foot down, knee, ball looks like it's in his control. And then the defender has it. When exactly does Cooks complete the catch? And that is the main question here, right? So to complete a catch, you need 2 steps in a football move or 2 steps and survive the ground. Now, there's a second step. Does he survive the ground? That's the question, and I don't think it's much more complicated than that. So you tell me at what point you would say that he survived the ground, because to me, he hasn't yet survived the ground. That's the way I would look at it. This is where I would tell you that he survived the ground if he still maintained possession. I would say now is when he survived the ground. Like right now, if he had the ball in his hands and then he dropped it, I would say it's a catch. Because at that point, I would say he finished his full roll and survived the ground. Clearly, at this point, the ball is with the Broncos. So that's why I view it the way I view it. Again, look, if he would have taken 2 steps and been standing up and then starting to get tackled, then you are looking for is the knee down. The problem here is that as he's catching the ball, he's falling. So yes, the knee counts him as down so that he couldn't technically get up and start running. But the knee here doesn't finish the completion of the catch just because his knee is down. And that's the part that I think people are missing. People are looking at the knee being down thinking like, oh, he's down because he's down by contact. Yes, but a lot of times down by contact just means he can't get up and keep running. It doesn't mean that like the play is over. Like if a defender pushes a running back that's running down the field and the running back dives forward for 3 yards, like that ball's going to be placed where he actually then fell down later, right? When like that play is over and he can't get up and keep running, even if he kept stumbling for another few yards. So I guess it wouldn't be 3 yards, but let's say the defender pushes the running back and the running back stumbles for 10 more yards, and then he falls after 10 yards, he's still down by contact because it was that contact that forced him to fall. So in this particular catch, would you say it was a contact by the defender here that forced him to fall, or was it him going up to the catch? And I think the defender here isn't trying to force him to the ground. He's trying to grab and rip the ball away. And Cooks is falling on his own. And that's where I think maybe many of us will disagree. But I think Brandon Cooks is falling on his own. Right? I think right here, he's trying to secure the catch, so he is falling and trying to grab the ball. And as you can see right here, at this point, it's a 50-50 ball. And if it's a 50-50 ball, the ball goes to the offensive player. But say right here, the ball right there popped out and touched the turf. And it just fell right there and rolled around. Would you guys call it a fumble? I think the problem that people have is that Denver ended up with the ball, and people just didn't like that, to be honest. Because if this was a fumble right here, if the ball popped loose right there, and then the Broncos grabbed it and returned it for 20 yards, people would say it was an incomplete pass. And that's the real issue. So we'll take a look at it again. Again, it just, I think it's clear as day. He didn't finish through the fall. Again, the Denver, by the time he is, fully done with his fall, that ball is in the Denver DB's hands already. I mean, look how quickly that ball's in his hands. So he does not survive the ground. At this point already, I would say it's possession Denver. But I don't think you could argue that. I mean, clearly the ball is possessed way more here by the Broncos DB than by Brandon Cooks. And again, if the ball right here had popped out and fell at the 20-yard line and rolled around, people would say that's incomplete. If the ball here just right here popped out, that's an incomplete pass. And no one would have a problem with that being called incomplete. But obviously it was a meaningful call, and people had a problem with it because it changed the game. It did change the game. Well, Brandon Cooks, you had to hang on to it. And we'll come back to this game, but part of the controversy there is that people are also comparing it to the Davante Adams play in the Chicago game. And we'll take a look at that one as well. And, this was the play that people are talking about with Davante Adams. And it is similar. Look, I'm not arguing it. It is a similar play, and here they called him down by contact. The difference is, and I will get to it here as the replay continues to flow. The difference in this one is just like we talked about with Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks was falling on his own to complete the catch. It's almost like a diving grab, right? Like when you dive, you are on your way down, completing the catch. And here on this play with Davante Adams, I mean, he already caught it. That ball's in his hands, and he is trying to stay up on his feet until there. And obviously now you're looking at the knee because he has already possession. He has possessed the ball. So again, if you look at the catch right here, right, he's still up until there he starts being tackled. So I just think that is already in his hands, right? So you would call that the first part of the catch. Now it's a football move. And I would argue the football move is him trying to stay on his feet. So here, I think he tries to stay on his feet, and then he goes down because obviously the second defender hits him and he goes down. So again, catch. He takes a step right here, right there. And once the second defender hits him, well, now he gets his knee to the ground, and now he's down at that point just as a tackle. He made the catch, had the 2 feet down, and made a football move, which was to try not to get tackled. Brandon Cooks never tried not to get tackled. It was simultaneous. He was too concerned about trying to catch the football on his way to the fall. So that's the difference here. I don't think it's that controversial, but people, I think, obviously, with what it meant at that point in the game, that's the real issue that they had. Like Davante already has it. He's trying to stay up. That's the way I see it. And again, if you disagree, I respect it. That's totally fair. We could see it. However, I think this play is actually closer than the Brandon Cooks one, because here you could argue he didn't make a football move. You could argue that as he's catching it, he's then starting to fall. I think once he realized that the second defender came over and he started maybe feeling like he didn't have the best grip of the football, he tried to get his knee down as quickly as he could. But up until that point, I think he had possession, and I think his football move was trying to stay on his feet for extra yards. Then when his knee hits, then the ball comes loose. Again, a lot of controversy this weekend. I get it. I can see both sides of it. But I also just think that, especially with the Brandon Cooks one, I just don't think that one is that close. I mean, and with the Davante Adams play, we're not really looking at his knee down. His knee is clearly down. That's the thing. That here we were looking at is his knee down. The football move for Davante Adams is him trying to essentially hold the football from it getting ripped away. That is the football move. The football move is him gripping it harder, as you can see in the replay. So, again, close for sure. Close. But he is, trying to hold on to that football while already having had possession because 2 feet were down. And at this point, he's trying to keep that ball in his possession. That's the way I see that. And there was more controversy out of the Buffalo game with the pass interference plays. And to be honest, look, the first pass interference, I can understand people, having an issue with it because the defender grabs his hand. The other one, I just thought the other one was a pretty clear pass interference. I mean, I don't think the other one was that hard to judge. I mean, here's the second one, and I'll find the first one too so we can take a look. But I mean, just look at the contact. I mean, there's already tons of contact. The ball's not even there yet. He's tackling him. So I don't understand this one. This one I was very confused with. Again, he's there so early. He already started tackling him. The ball's not even in sight yet. So this one was a clear defensive pass interference. Again, look at that. I mean, that he's got his arm, he's got his hand on his back already. This still going, the ball's still not there. So this one is no question a pass interference, and this is the one that set up the game-winning field goal from the Broncos. Clear pass interference. I mean, he's riding this dude like you would a Bronco. Look at him. I mean, at this point, he's already can sniff his ass already, and the ball's just got there. So this one's a very obvious pass interference. And honestly, for Tre'Davious White, like, he's a veteran player. I get it. At that point, you feel like the game's over and you feel like you lost already. But, bro, then you get a 15-yard penalty on top of that to make the field goal a cheap shot. Like, that is costing your team just, on some dumb stuff, to be honest. I really thought that was I just didn't think that was very smart. Again, I get it in a sense like that. You are, already maybe pissed off and annoyed and you don't like the call. But I also just think, like, you got to be smarter than that. And the pressure is going to be on Denver. Again, heat of the moment. I'm not trying to put it all on him, but he did commit pass interference. Now, the one before this is the one that I would say has more of an argument for it being a cheap call. Is it pass interference? Yes. I mean, look, he's holding his hand. He holds it right there. You can see he's grabbing his arm. But this one is hand fighting. You could argue. So this one, if you don't see it as a pass interference, I wouldn't say that you shouldn't see it as a pass interference. But if your argument is it's overtime in a 30-30 game in the divisional round, let these guys play, it's a little bit of hand fighting, I got you. I get that. I'm not going to argue about that. But again, the Bills beat themselves because you know what? At this point, while this is happening, guess who doesn't know that there's a pass interference? Joey Bosa. And guess what Joey Bosa's doing? He's knocking Bo Nix on his chest to get a roughing the passer penalty anyway and give him a first down. So this is the one that actually maybe you could say is not pass interference for this moment, and yet the Bills would have still been giving them 15 yards and a first down. So not much to complain. When it comes to this game, I think the Bills just beat themselves. Josh Allen with a rookie type of fumble at the end of the half. I mean, that was, that was just pretty embarrassing. I don't know how Josh Allen let that happen. And it's just, we'll take a look at it. I mean, he's trying to make a play, but this is just, it almost looks like he even tried to fling it back. I don't even know what the hell he was doing. Like, why is the ball out like that? At this point, I in a way, I get it because he's thinking like, all right, we don't have any timeouts. I need to get down. I won't be able to get out of bounds. So, but then that's it, dude. Play's over. Play is over. I do think he tried to almost lateral it back. Yeah. And then you end up giving Denver a field goal with 2 seconds left to extend the lead. So, look, I like this guy right here. This guy, who's over here? Number 96 is calling timeout. Like he didn't know that once change of possession happens, that the clock's going to stop. Look at him right here. Timeout. The clock stopped already, bud. You're good. You're clear. So the Bills beat themselves, man. There's no way around it. It sucks because Josh Allen is a great quarterback, but he had a bad game. He had a bad game. Sean McVay is a great coach, but he coached a bad game for the Rams. And lucky for him, it didn't cost him. But unfortunately for the Bills, it did cost them. And, Josh Allen even, missed his tight end there down the stretch. If that would have been a touchdown, who knows? They win the game probably and move on and now are facing the Patriots. But look, this stuff happens. The last controversy I'm going to talk about is C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud at halftime. These were his numbers. 10 for 26, 124 yards, and 4 interceptions, okay? I just don't understand why the Miko Ryans didn't bench him. This clearly was not his day. And look, I'm not trying to back up CJ Stroud, like say he's incredible. Um, he hasn't been this bad, but this was terrible. I mean, this is just a duck of a pass, and it just can't happen. You have the lead. You have a defense that has essentially all the potential in the world to win you this game. Like, dude, just take the sack. Take the sack, or you can see this guy coming. This is the most frustrating part. Throw it away. I don't understand. And look, his offensive line wasn't great. Right here, his tight end gets tripped up. You can see him right here. He gets tripped up by his own lineman. And this is where the mistake happens, because obviously he can chip on 44 or block 44, but once he trips, it's a wrap. But CJ, you gotta feel that. It's not even see it, you gotta feel it. Like right there, this guy's clear. Turn around, throw it away. Throw it to 21 for all I care. Nick Chubb right there. I just throw it away. Also, who is this pass to? This guy's covered. This guy's covered. I don't see what CJ Stroud saw. This was just one of the. Again, in my opinion, you got to bench him. He, at that point, was losing you the game. And, there's just certain plays you give the defense credit, like this play, you got to give the defense credit. Carlton Davis just makes a hell of a play on the ball, but also it's a bad throw. I mean, he overthrew his guy, and it's just a bad throw. So, again, he didn't have it all day. That's what I'm saying. It's not even just the numbers. Yes, he had 4 interceptions in the half. He could have had 6 or 7. D'Amico Ryans is watching this game. Like, okay, if this was a drop, and let's say he didn't get his feet in bounds, this still you should look at, like, this is a very bad throw. And you should be looking at that. And all his throws in this half, like I said, in the first half, he played better in the second half, to be fair. But in the first half, I felt like every throw was going to be an interception. And again, going back real quick to the catch, no catch. This guy right here, if the ball popped out, guess what? It would have been an incomplete pass. And I'm just going back to that because, again, he was falling as he was catching, right? And even though he toe tapped his feet inbounds, the momentum of the catch is making him fall. So he has to survive the ground. All right. And that's why he's showing that he still has the ball, to show, like, I survived the ground, so that it could be ruled a pick. Because right there, if that ball slipped out and flung its way to this guy, that's an incomplete pass. So that catch INT discussion just really got under my skin, because I just feel like it's very obvious. But again, people want to see things differently. People sometimes, have a dog in the fight. They bet on someone. They love Josh Allen. I love Josh Allen too, but I didn't have a dog in that fight. I didn't really care if it was the Bills or the Broncos. So I feel like I'm seeing it by the rule book and it's clear as day, but maybe I'm wrong. So you guys can comment and let me know if you think I'm full of it. But again, anyway, back to CJ Stroud. Yeah, I just could not understand why he was still in there to start the second half. Davis Mills is your backup. He can give you a spark. He can give you a chance to turn this thing around. You were only down 2 scores at halftime. I think it was 21-10. And really, it should have been 14-10 had CJ Stroud not thrown that interception. So, and even that, it just changed the momentum. As you saw there, I mean, the score at that point was 10-7 Houston. If you just get a little drive and make some plays happen. And again, it's just guys like Josh Allen, and in this case, CJ Stroud, making rookie mistakes. If this was Caleb Williams, or if this was Drake May, or if this was Bo Nix, you think to yourself, all right, these guys are trying to make a play. It's their first time in the playoffs. They're trying to, put it all on their shoulder. But CJ Stroud's been there. This is, 3 straight postseason of the same result, essentially. So I don't know what the Texans do. They got to either pick up or not pick up his 5th-year option. He's still, you could say, a young quarterback for sure. But, I think they're going to have to pay him $26 million now. Going into year 4. And, again, I get it. He's young, but this isn't his first playoff game. So he's got to know, like, possessions are everything in the playoffs, man. Protect the football at all costs. So again, a lot of controversy this weekend, but I guess that makes it a lot of fun as well because there's a lot to discuss and a lot to talk about. So I hope you guys enjoyed that breakdown. If you agree or disagree, let me know in the comments below. And I appreciate you guys watching. And I cannot wait to preview the conference championship round here coming up next weekend. And honestly, I don't know which way I'm picking with either game. This is going to be tough, really tough. So, but I'm excited to, obviously make up my mind as the weekend looms here in a few days. So I'll talk to y'all soon.